The Shadow Cabinet in Parliament has presented alternative budget proposals for the financial year 2024-2025, highlighting issues in the economy that need to be addressed. This includes public debt, which had reached 97 trillion shillings, although the Ministry of Finance revised the debt figures to 86.7 trillion, indicating a reduction. Debt servicing has been allocated 20.6 trillion in the financial year 2024-2025, with interest payments at 7.6 trillion shillings, consuming 38.4% of the budget.
They are presenting actually is not as much as they presented, because they are not reducing 7.5 in wages and salaries, 316 billion in gratuity, and 263 in the pension. When all this is reduced, the resources for Parliament to prioritize next financial year will be 13.6 trillion. That is the budget that the government has presented. But you will see the minister with a huge bag, and he will say, I have brought a budget of 54 trillion.
Uganda's annual external debt servicing has reached 3.2 trillion shillings, with 1.9 trillion as interest. The Auditor General's report shows domestic debt has reached 44.67 trillion shillings, with domestic debt contributors characterized by licensed commercial banks that are foreign. Shadow Minister for Finance Ibrahim Ssemujju noted that borrowed and unutilized loans from China are choking Uganda, with the government required to pay 443 billion shillings in commitment fees for unutilized loans.
We borrowed money. 309 billion borrowed to boost agriculture is unutilized. The money for digital transformation, it is also not utilized. We borrowed money to fix our broken road network to the tune of 13.2 trillion. It is still there, not utilized.
Ibrahim Ssemujju proposes that the budget on savings and luxury be removed. This includes removing an aggregated figure of 187 billion shillings for renting offices and 780 billion shillings for public officer transport, with these funds channeled to sectors in need.
Financial year, we will spend 780 billion on transporting public officers. 780 billion. On average, that's what we spend. Because usually we spend 220 billion acquiring new vehicles. Also we are going to spend 162 billion on donations by our leaders. Donation, money for vehicles, money for this. All this money can be reprioritized in the sectors that the head of opposition outlined here: health, education, sectors that are going to help our people.
The Shadow Cabinet say the realistic total budget should be 43.4 trillion shillings instead of 52 trillion, the figure for the financial year 2023-2024.
Proposes that once you've dealt with this luxury, next year you don't even have to go and borrow 9 trillion from commercial banks. And then if for a sustained period of 3 to 4 years you are not borrowing, it means now you'll have more resources available. You'll no longer be spending 20 trillion on servicing debt.
Are still saying the rights of Ugandans matter, and we should budget according to those rights. Human rights-based approach to budgeting informs the decisions that we make, because Ugandans have a right to health services. Ugandans have a right to education.
Yeah, we think a lot more needs to be invested therein, and that money is available, like I've said. Education, infrastructure. You see, the challenge that we do have, as I have said, is Ugandans keep paying taxes, but they see little when it comes to service delivery.
24. This budget follows the previously laid alternative ministerial policy statements in the House, which were distributed to different sectoral committees. I'm Navka Farida and Gloria Gwitabinji in Parliament.